in the LinkedIn article that Randy and I co-wrote
I
was
love that LinkedIn article because it had recommendations. It wasn't just about you giving back the money, which is extremely important and a symbol. Hopefully, that others will follow. Who also there are other chains that got money as well that probably need to do the same. But you put specifically in your LinkedIn post from you and Randy recommendations for Congress and for the U.S. government in general. Can you mention a couple of those real quickly? That would be important.
Sure I can. And I was heartened to see that Secretary of the Treasury, Mnuchin, tweeted the article and saying how happy he was to see that Shake Shack had returned the money. So we know that this message reached, I guess as high as you can get in terms of planning this thing. And the three recommendations were these, Alan. It was number one, fund the thing adequately. This has shown that no restaurant is unsinkable. I think it's a mistake for those who say, well, there should be a different program for very small business, middle-sized business, and large business. I think restaurants are restaurants. And I think that if the government can understand that it's not right to pit restaurants against restaurants, but rather fund the thing adequately so everybody who needs help, which is everybody, because all employees matter, all employees who go to work at Shake Shack, if there's 50 employees at a Shake Shack in New Jersey or St. Louis or California, they're no less important or more or less important than 50 employees going to a fancy restaurant or a diner or a mom and pop store. It just doesn't matter. Have one plan for all restaurants and fund it adequately. Number two, we would urge that the government assign a local bank to administer this for every business that is applying for a loan, so that if a business does not have a pre-existing loan relationship with a bank, they are not shut out. And it also gives business to local banks, which I think is a good thing. And then third, really, really importantly for our industry, there was a one-size-fits-all date of June 30th, after which, if you hired back your workers after that date, the loans would not be forgivable. Well, that just doesn't work, that arbitrary single date, when you have a virus that's sweeping the country in different waves at different times. And so, for example, if you're in New York City, it's pretty unlikely that you're going to be able to hire back the preponderance of your team by June 30th, because it still probably won't be safe to be, if you're a full service restaurant, to be in business. And so we're also advocating that June 30th arbitrary date be changed to being that the loan would be forgivable for all restaurants of all sizes 6 months after their state or their city allowed restaurants to be back in business. And I think that if what we're trying to do is acknowledge that restaurants drive a massive part of this economy, then we should do what we can to help all restaurants get back into business and get back into the business of hiring people. As an industry, we have laid off a massive number of people because you cannot carry a payroll in the absence of revenues. So everybody shares the same goal right now, which is let's get people back to work. And the only way to do that is to have restaurants get back up on their feet.
It would almost be better for this to be a subset of whatever program they come up with next, so that it really deals with the restaurants, because the restaurants are, to your point, a huge part of our economy. They're also a huge part of our society from a cultural point of view. I mean, the idea of walking through cities through America with shut down and boarded up restaurants and no place for us to collectively come together, it's literally taking the lifeblood of our soul and our culture away. And it's much more meaningful than people realize. And your point is, they got to pay rent. They have to pay, people have to hold on. And if the money doesn't come quickly, they can't even do that, and it just becomes a feverish thing. I know.